Hello again and welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is for a scrap blanket using up all the extra yarn that you've got left over from other projects, and I'm going to show how to do the modern granny stitch working side to side. I'm using, all of the yarn that I'm using for this project is going to be double knitting, and I'm using a 5mm hook. We're going to start with a chain, and as long as you've got an even number of chains the design will work. So if you're making quite a wide blanket, obviously you'll make more chains than I'm going to do for this swatch. For the swatch I'll just do a chain of 30. So starting with any of the yarn that you've got that's left over, I'll just zoom out a little bit. We're going to slip knot onto the hook as always to secure, and you can do that any way you prefer, and then we're going to start the chains. So I'm going to do 30. You can pause the video if you want to do more, unless you want to just try a swatch to start off with. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. I'll just show you the yarns that I'm going to use. As you can see, they're all just part balls left over from various projects, but all in a similar theme of colour, but you can do yours excuse me, in absolutely any colour that you like. The idea is to use up the scraps of yarn that you've got left. So now we've got our length of chain that we're going to use. We need to do the first stitch, which is a double, into the 4th chain from the hook. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So yarn over into the chain, pick up the loop, yarn over. We've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and that's created the first stitch and the second stitch of the first block of 3. So we're now going to work a double into the next chain, followed by a chain 1, and that's going to form the first block of 3. We've got the 3 chain here, which counts as the first stitch, followed by the 2 doubles. So we've done a chain 1 in between. We're going to skip the next chain, and we're going to work 1 double into each of the following 3 chains after the skipped chain. So 1 and 2, and there's the 3rd one. And then we're going to chain 1 and skip the next chain, again work 3 doubles, 1 in each of the next 3 chains. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1, again skip the next stitch and work the next 3 doubles, 1 double into each of the next 3 chain. Chain 1, skip 1 and work a double into each of the next 3
chain 1, skip a chain, and again work 3 doubles, 1 in each of the next 3. Chain 1. That's going to leave us with 4 chains left on the hook. We're going to skip the first one and we're going to do a double into each, oops, done that one wrong, each of the next 3. So we've now got on our 30 chain foundation, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks of 3. So we're going to flip over and chain 1. And that's going to keep the edges nice and straight. We're going to single crochet into that same stitch and then work 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, going to pop over to this space here between the 2 blocks of 3 where we did the chain 1 and work a single. So single is into the space, pick up the loop, yarn over and pull through the 2 stitches just the one time. Chain 3 and again skip 3 stitches over into the next 1 chain space and work a single. Chain 3, skip 3 stitches, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 3, and we're going to work the same all the way across the row, working 3 chains and then 1 single into the next chain space, chain 3 and work a single. We've now come to the end of the sequence, so we're going to chain 3 and then work a single crochet into the last chain of the 3 chains that we started with, and that finishes off the second row. If you're using, if you've say you'd come to the end of the first colour that you've got, to join in a new colour, I'll just snip this one off and imagine that we've come to the end of that ball of yarn. To join in the next colour, you would just join the 2 ends of yarn together, and I would tie them into a knot, and we're just going to carry on with the same sequence as before. So to start the next row, we're going to work 3 chain. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. That's going to count as the first stitch. We're now going to do another 2 doubles into this first chain space here, and I'm going to catch over the 2 tails of yarn from where we've joined. So we've got 1 stitch and 2 stitch. We've actually worked over the 2 tails of yarn there. Going to chain 1, the chain 3 that we started with and the 2 doubles is starting that first block of 3 again. So now catching over the 2 tails of yarn again, we're going to work 3 doubles into this next 3 chain space here. So 1, 2, and that's caught the yarn completely under there, and the third one. Oops, I've got a bit of a knot in the yarn there. But we're just working the same sequence all the way along the row, working in blocks of 3, chain 1 in between the blocks, and then we're going to skip the single crochet here and work 3 doubles into that next 3 chain space. It's 2 and 3, chain 1, and again I'm going to work 3 and carry on working the same sequence of 3 doubles into the chain space, skip the single crochet, chain 1 and work 3 doubles again into the next. 2 and 3, chain 1 and another 3 doubles, just pause the video a second to undo this knot. Sorry about that. So we're working the 3 doubles, chain 1, and on the last 3 chain space that we've got, we're only going to work 2 doubles. That brings us to the last stitch, which was the single crochet that we started with on the previous row. So we're going to work a double into that single crochet to keep the sides nice and straight. So that's the next row of the pattern. So again, we're just going to flip over, we're going to do a chain 1 and also a single into the top of that last stitch from the previous row. That just keeps it nice and neat on the side. Chain 3 and across to the next chain space, chain 3, skip the 3 doubles and work a single into the next stitch, chain 3 and skip 3 stitches, work a single into the next chain space, and so on all the way across the row, just working the same 3 chain, 1 single, 3 chain, 1 single, 3 chain, and then we're going to work a single crochet into the top of the 3 chain that we started this row with. So just pop your hook into the top chain and we're going to work the single, and then flip over and you're ready for the next row, which is going to start with the 3 chain and the 2 doubles, and at the end we've got 2 doubles, and then we do the last double into that last single crochet at the end. So I'll just show you once you've finished the project, if you wanted to put a border to totally finish off the project. I'll just do the final row of this swatch here. I'll just cut off the ends of yarn of the colours that I'm not using as well, because we can work over those as we go along. Just wind those up out of the way. So the last row before you would do the border will be the 3 doubles in each of the chain spaces, and then you'll work back across, working the chain and a single into the first stitch, 3 chain, 1 single, 3 chain, 1 single, and so on until you get right to the end. Once you get into the corner, you've done the single crochet here into the corner. We're now going to work a further 3 chains and we're going to go back into that same stitch and do another single crochet, so we end up with a little loop here into the corner. Going to work 3 chain, and then between the blocks of 3 here, that we've got a block of 3 on this row, and then we had the chain row, then the block of double crochets, we're going to do a single crochet into that same 3 chain space there. Going to work 3 chain, and into the next chain space here we're going to do a single crochet, 3 chain. I'm going to now work into this next chain space, but catching any tails of yarn that you've got from those rows. Work 3 chain. We're going to skip to the next 3 chain space, and we're going to do a single, 3 chains, and we're now down to the very beginning of the work into the corner. So into the first chain of the 3 chain starting stitch, going through 2 loops of that chain, we're going to work a single crochet, going to work 3 chain, and we're going to go back into that same chain and work another single. So again we've got a loop here in the corner. We've now come down to the first foundation row where we started our blocks of 3 doubles with a missed chain in between. So we're going to start again with 3 chain, and into that space there we're going to work a single, 3 chain, skip the 3 doubles and work a single into the next chain space. We're going to do that all the way across to the next corner. Just working 3 chains, 1 single, 3 chains, 1 single, 3 chain, and 1 single, 3 chain, and a single, 3 chain. We're now at the very beginning of our the first it would be the last double that you did on your first row. So into the bottom of that stitch, I'm just going to poke in the hook, pick up a loop and do a single, going to 3 chain to form the corner. We're going to go back into that same stitch and work a single. So again we've got a little loop here in the corner. Going to 3 chain, and I'm going to go to the next chain space here where we've got a single and then the chain space, and work over the single with another single crochet, 3 chain, and again I'm catching the tail of yarn here underneath. I'm going to do a single, 3 chain, single, 3 chain. This will be all the way along the length of your blanket with a single. We're going to chain 3, and we're back now to the last stitch here, which is the single crochet. We're going to just move those tails out of the way. We're going to go into the stitch, into the stitch, pick up a loop and single, chain 3, and we're now going to slip stitch into that same stitch. So now we've got a row of the 3 chains all the way around the blanket. So the next row we're going to slip stitch into that first 3 chain space here, and we're going to work 3 chain, which is going to count as the first stitch. We're going to work 2 doubles, chain 1 and skip across to the next chain space, where again we're going to work 3 doubles. And we're just going to do exactly the same all the way along the blanket, working 3 doubles into each of the chain spaces that we've just made with a chain 1 in between. So I'll meet you when we get to the corner loop. If you need to pause the video, you can do so now and then restart once you reach your corner. Chain 1, work 3 doubles, chain 1 and 3 doubles. So I've now reached the corner loop of my swatch, and you can see that the loop is here in the corner, and it's just slightly different on this little bit that we've done the 3 doubles, the chain 1. We're now going to work 2 doubles, oops, chain 2, and we're going to work another 2 doubles into that same corner loop, which is going to form the corner of the border. So we now chain 1, and we're going to work all the way along this side again with the 3 doubles into each of the 3 chain spaces with a chain 1 in between. Quickly work down to the next corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, oops, 2, 3, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and we're now at the last 3 chain space on the straight edge. So we're going to work 3 doubles, chain 1, and then we're back again to the corner here, which is the 3 chain into the same stitch, and again we do 2 doubles, 1, 2, chain 2, and another 2 doubles into that same chain space to form the next corner. And then we just chain 1, and straight into this next 3 chain space here we're going to do the 3 doubles. So we just work exactly the same way all the way around with the 3 doubles in each 3 chain space and 2 double, 2 chain and 2 double into the corner loop. So I'll let you work all the way around and then I'll show you how to start the next row. So I've come all the way around the blanket, or the swatch in this case. I've done the final 3 doubles here and we're on to the last corner chain. So we're going to chain 1 after the 3 doubles. Again we're going to work 2 doubles into the corner loop, 2 chain and another 2 doubles, and then we're just going to join with a slip stitch into the top chain of the 3 chains that we started with. Now that would neaten off the blanket so that you've got a nice neat border all the way around. But if you find that your blanket's not big enough and you want it to make it even bigger, you can carry on working around with another row of border, or as many rows of border as you want. So if you wanted to do that, we've now, oops, I forgot to do the last chain one there, do apologise. We had a chain one before we join with the slip stitch. So if you wanted to finish off with just one row of the border, you could then snip off the yarn, pull it through to fasten off, and then work in the end. But if you want to carry on with a second row, we would flip your work over and slip stitch into this chain space here between the 3 doubles, which was the last block of the row, and the 2 doubles here. And again, you're just going to work the single crochet into this space. You'll work 3 chain, and then you would do the corner loop again into this 2 chain space, which is just a single 3 chain and a single back into that same chain space, and then you would work 3 chain, skip the 2 doubles here which are the corner stitches, and back into the next space you would work the single, so that you've got the new start for the new row. And again you would work 3 chain, single into the space, 3 chain, single into the space, and so on. And then in the corner you would work a single, and then you will work 3 chains and then a single back into the corner, so that you're increasing on each row. But for this swatch I'm just going to leave it at the 1 row of border, just to see how the row is done. And each row, each pattern repeat is just the same, where you're going to work 3 doubles into each of the chain spaces with a chain in between, and in the corners you work 2 doubles, 2 chain and 2 doubles. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found a use for all your spare bits of yarn to make a scrap blanket. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.